let me explain something to you guys. See, your life, you want to begin to look at it like it's a library. And I know that's an old concept because you have the World Wide Web now, but I'm going to take you back old school because I was born in 75 and I grew up with the Dewey Decimal System. So let me explain to you a little bit how you really want to treat your life. And it's like your library. You want to go into studying certain things. And you want to study a lot of things. But you want to study one thing at a time for a set amount of time. Then move on to something else. But on that same thing that you moved on to something else, stay on it for a certain amount of time. So look at like it if you're in a library and you're going through, and right now you're in the plumbing section. And so in the plumbing section, you're reading how to do elbow pipes, you're learning the pressure gauges, you're learning the difference between drain pipe and fresh water pipe and galvanized piping and copper piping and how city water sewage would be done versus residential water sewage. You're learning all of that about plumbing for a set amount of time in your life. And you want to eat it all up. I mean, you don't want to be on the piping and then jump off into firefighting for a second and then come back into piping. No, that's not how you want to do it. But you can get into the firefighting next. So what you want to do is, when you're done and you feel like you've got not enough history and knowledge in that plumbing, for however long it might take you, you might feel like you've gotten enough knowledge of plumbing in 6 months, 6 days, 6 hours, or 6 years. You might have wanted to spend 60 months on it. I don't know. Whatever amount of time you feel you needed to spend to get enough knowledge in that area for you to exhaust your brain in what it is. But then now you do want to go into firefighting. Okay, great. Now you're going into the library and you're researching firefighters from beyond the past. And you're researching when did they start using this type of hose. And now you're understanding the backdraft movies. And you're understanding why they have this color truck versus that color truck, and when did they take the guys driving the truck from the back off, and they only had them driving in the front, and when did they take the big ladder off, and when they use wood ladders, and now you're understanding the firefighters boot camp and why they have to stay in for 6 months in the house or 6 weeks in the house, and then they get to go home, but they're still on call. So everything now you're researching about firefighters because that's what you wanted to learn about. Okay, great. Now you've got that, but you're not doing firefighter and how to make candy at the same time. But you can learn how to make candy at the same time. Because now once you're done with learning how to do a firefighter, you can then say, okay, I'm done doing firefighter stuff. Now I want to learn how to make candy. And so now you're surrounding yourself with Jolly Ranchers. And you're watching hard candy making shows and chocolate candy bar making shows. And you're watching the episode of Seinfeld with the O. Henry candy bar, and jokes are making more sense to you. And now, when you go into the candy stores, you're seeing the Mars, and you're seeing the O. Henry's, and you're seeing the Mars versus the Nestle versus the different chocolate companies that advertise, where you just saw them all before as just candy bars. So then you get into, okay, well, can I make candy into Easter baskets? And can I make candy into showpieces, and into candy into graduation party pieces, and I can do candy tables for people, and then I can have candy raffles. Everything that you're doing is about candy making. That's how you gotta begin to look at life and what you're doing with it. Because once you have those 3 attributes under your belt, and you are the master of those 3 attributes, you can then ascend into a higher ranking echelon in life. Why? Because you are now the master of candy making, and you are now the master of plumbing, and you're now the master of firefighting. You will be able to take those 3 fields and sit back and learn how to take one person or one attribute or one characteristic from each one of those fields and build yourself a business in which you no longer have to toil in the sweat mines. You no longer have to put your hands into the dirt. You no longer have to put your hands onto the pipe and do the plumbing. You no longer have to climb up the ladder and risk your life in the firefighting. And you no longer have to risk your hand over the chocolate fire, melting the chocolate. Your brain will be able to sit and think about what it is that you want to be, and how to put together a multi-million-dollar business with those 3 attributes. Now, I just used 3, but what you really can do is the more attributes you put under your belt, the more businesses you can create, and the more people you can hire, the bigger you can help the planet. Because you can employ more people on lower levels to get themselves to the upper echelons, because they are building attributes by working for you. So it is a beneficial thing that you put yourself under that ability to learn nothing but one thing for a set amount of time. So you have to understand that the attribute that they put on you of attention deficit, you cannot retain your attention for a set amount of time. Your attention is at a deficit of what it normally should be. You have got to begin to learn how to focus on one thing for a set amount of time, because you're going to tell yourself, I am going to focus on one thing for a set amount of time, and then I am going to move on to something else. When you do that, you become a master in so many different areas that people begin to see how fast can they master an area so that they can get that attribute. It then becomes a game of, I can learn faster than you. Oh, I can learn faster than you. Oh, I can learn this faster than you. Because as you begin to understand that the faster you learn, the more attributes that you gain, the more money you can earn by sitting down and just thinking. You work smarter, not harder. I don't know if I got that from Scrooge McDuck because I was born in 75, but this is Porsche Poetry Songs. Triple P. Protect your neck. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Amen. So mote it be. It is done.